How is everybody doing? It's Craig here again. Uh, it's October, Friday the 13th, roughly about 5 p.m. in the afternoon. What you're looking at here is a Stihl. I'm not sure if it's an MS290 or just an 029. Here's the box of parts. Yeah, it's just an 029. So, this come into the shop, I don't know, it's been a while ago. It's been 4 or 5 or 6 weeks. And the guy told me that the engine was about ready to blow up. It had a bad knock. Well, right here, you can see what the problem was. One of the engine mounts had broke out of the crankcase housing, and one of the other bolts was broken clean off. So this one was broke, and then one of the other bolts was broken in half, which was allowing the engine to flop around in the seat. So after trying to find a replacement housing that wasn't breaking the bank and not having to buy an aftermarket one, I come across this MS290 case for like $35. Looks like it's in pretty good shape. I cleaned it up. It was dirty. It was filthy. Pretty bare. It's got a couple of rubber mounts on it that I'll probably replace. The oil pump's missing off of it, but none of that stuff matters because the other saw there was a complete running saw. So I can take everything from that and put over on this crankcase, make a good saw. So I thought, till after I got it cleaned up. You probably see the first thing right there. They've got a bolt holding the lower dog on. And I even asked this guy, because he said it was good to go, there was nothing wrong with it. So I specifically asked him if any of the threads was pulled, if anything else on it was broken that wasn't visible. He replied back, no, it was a good crankcase, just dirty. This whole hair actually goes right into the oil tank. Just my pick. Where do you think that goes? Right into the freaking oil tank. So I'm going to turn my light on and see if I can't shine in there and show you. You can see it right underneath that gold vent. So I'm going to stick my pick back in there. And we'll do it this way. Looky there. There's my pick. Right there. Moving around. So, as it sits like that, this tank's junk. So I got to doing some other kind of investigation on it. And then I noticed this one right here. It's kind of hard to see, but it's all the way through also. That's one of the coil mounts. They've ran a bolt clear through. They've put too long of a bolt in is what they've done. Or screw rather, because these are just plastic tap screws. So then I thought, well, I wonder what. So here's the lower coil mount, and as you can see, maybe you can't, maybe you can. The threads in it are pulled also. So, put my pick in there, all the way in. Get in here. There's my pick. So as this tank sets right now, let me turn my light back off. As this tank sets right now, I'm leaking oil all over the place too. This tank housing, sorry about that, I'm not very good with my phone. This tank housing is junk, because if I put it together like it is, and I've tried before to use thread sealer and Loctite to try to fix the issue that I have right now, it doesn't work. It's still going to leak, especially the gasoline. Bar oil may be a different animal. It may hold, but the gasoline will not hold. So I've done a little research, and I've talked to the customer. It's a shame that tank's junk. I mean, that housing's junk, because I'd much rather have that housing versus this one here. But it is what it is. But anyway, like I said, I've talked to the owner, to the customer, and we've decided to try something that I think may work, and that is depending. JB Weld makes a product called Water Weld, and it's made for boats and water pipes and stuff, and it can actually be applied underwater, and it is waterproof once it sets up, and it has like 1,300 foot-pounds of lineal breakage to it, and it's also resistant to oils, petroleums, chemicals, and several other things, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's a 2-part epoxy. So I talked to him, and I'm going to try to fill these holes full of that epoxy, and then drill them out to the size they need for the self-tapping screws, along with the one over here on the oil also, this one down here. I'm thinking that if that water epoxy from JB Weld has enough strength, it'll bond to this and hold, and it sets up hard enough, and I can drill it and tap them screws into it. I think I'll be okay. And you know, we've got $40 in this housing, actually about $45 with the shipping. So we've decided to go that route, and if that route doesn't work, then he's looking at a aftermarket new, probably from Farmer Tech, which may or may not be okay. I mean, he's not trying to keep it original. He's just wanting a saw that he can cut wood with. You know, this was my suggestion, was to find a used tank, because I thought it would be cheaper. So much for thoughts, huh? So I guess that's your tip for the day. Don't believe a damn thing that you're told, especially on eBay, and don't believe anything of what you read, because it can be posted as 100% perfect, and you can even be told it's 100% perfect even after asking specific questions, and you see what we wind up getting. I can kind of maybe see, well, no, I can't, because I specifically asked him if any of the threads was pulled in any of the screw holes, and he replied back, no, they all look good. So you can tell right up front he didn't look at them, so he flat out lied. And even if these did have good threads in them, he should have done what I done and run a pick in them to make sure, you know, they didn't bottom out, or that they did bottom out, like this one here. See, that one bottoms out. That's how they should be. But if nothing else, he should have been able to see that bolt wasn't supposed to be in that lower hole on that dog. if I could reach through YouTube or eBay or whoever I bought it off of and grab somebody, I'd grab them by the hair of the nose and pull them back on my side. And of course, everybody's saying, oh, just return it. Well, this is one of them things that seller does not accept returns. So, you know, whenever you buy something like that, you take a risk of running into this issue. I could probably go back through eBay and file a claim, and I might even do that, but it's probably going to take longer to do that than what it would be just get another one, or to go ahead and try with the water weld that I'm going to try. But I still may file a claim just because. I guess I do have a couple parts. I got a good chain adjuster, an okay chain catch. I got the rubber hose for the oil pump. I got the lower clamshell. I do have a dog. And I got a fuel line and a filter that was in there. And I do have these funky caps that I don't like. Half twist lock caps. A couple pieces of hardware on there. Little O-ring here for the oil pump. Little plug here in the end that sometimes seems to fall out. So, you know, there's something else. If you got a 290, 310, 390, and you start getting a bunch of oil running out from underneath your muffler, check this little plug right here. Make sure it's still in there. A lot of times that'll fall out. That'll cause your issue. This upper AV mount right here, it's still actually decent. I'm not sure about that bottom one. Couple bar studs. Okay, well, I probably rambled on way too long. Thanks for watching. I'll come back. I'll do updates on this, let y'all know what I've done. See you in the next video. Take care.